Hi babe, welcome to CLO. It's your girl Sheila, and today is the first in a series entitled Everything is Spiritual. This series is going to go over some minute details from everyday circumstances in life and how I find and take away the deep spiritual meaning and apply that to the rest of my life. Because everything, for a girl like me, I am philosophical as okay? So everything really is spiritual, and life is more fun and exciting, and your soul feels more fulfilled when you notice the little things. So today's topic, we are going to discuss how you are responsible for making opportunities to experience the things you want to in this life. If you couldn't guess by my getup today, I did go to Warped Tour this weekend. If you don't know, Warped Tour is an emo, punk, alternative music festival that happens in cities all over America. And full transparency, the only reason I went to Warped Tour is because I ride or die for this band, Sleeping with Sirens, okay? I have been a fan for over 10 years. I discovered their music through friends in middle school, and Kellen Quinn, if you know, you know, the falsetto on that man, his range, he is so cute, and his voice is held up, okay? Anyway, I've never been to a concert like this before. I've never seen so many cool emo and scene kids all in one place. It was incredible. In the crowd, when I was watching Sleeping with Sirens, already a huge goal was happening for me. Something really beautiful and special was taking place when I was in the crowd, because I was able to witness one of my favorite bands ever play live. Okay, so that's already the base for what's about to take place. And I'm seeing so many kids like on either side of me. I probably saw like 5 people crowd surfing near me, and they're all like on their backs and they're all like having so much fun, and I see some of them falling with like their leg in the air, and or like someone's shoulder like hit my back as they were coming through. And in my head, crowd surfing was something that was only reserved for like the lead singer, right, to jump into the crowd, or like a one-off thing that happens. But in this, I guess it's like very common in the emo scene, because I had never witnessed that before. There were so many people that were doing it, like on either side of me, behind me, in front of me, all throughout the show, there are people crowd surfing, all right? And so in my head, I'm like, the cell signal is abysmal when there's so many people at this freaking festival. The texts aren't going through. And in my mind, I'm like, how the hell are the people that are crowd surfing gonna be able to reach their friends again? Because you don't control where you go when you crowd surf. You are at the whim of whoever's pushing you, right? So I'm like, this only really works if you're alone, because it doesn't matter where you end up. You don't have anyone to like meet back up with, right? So remember that. It only matters when you're alone. It only is really feasible when you're alone. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So we're enjoying the concert, me and my friend Sarah, we're singing, we're having the time of our lives. Sarah wants to go catch another set. So me and Sarah separate, and there's like maybe 3 or 4 songs left of the set, okay? I see people crowd surfing. Near me, and then I get this desire in my heart. And I'm like, I want to crowd surf. I've never done that before. That looks so fun. This is one of my favorite bands. I want to do that. But then immediately as the desire appears, my ego starts talking in my head, and it starts filling my brain with all of these excuses as to why that's a bad idea and why I shouldn't do it, and why I'm fully content with what's happening right now. My ego starts saying, well, what if well, remember this morning your back really hurt and you had to do stretches? What if someone drops you and then you tweak your back? Or you had a sprained ankle last month. What if you fall on your ankle and you hurt it again? Or no, you don't really. So the fear-based excuses start coming in. And also the excuses of, no, you actually don't really want this. You're actually fully content with where you are right now. My ego started saying, no, Sheila, like, isn't it enough that you get to see your favorite band? Isn't it enough that you get to stand here safe and sing your favorite songs and see your favorite band? Like, this is enough. You're happy with this. This is what you want. This is enough for you. And that's also another lie that the ego tells you, because the ego, the brain, and the heart, they operate on different levels. The brain and the ego want to logic your way into safety, and safety is always what you know. Safety is usually what is happening right now. Your ego does not like change. Your ego wants to control what's happening, and in order to control what's happening, more often than not, the ego wants you to stay exactly where you are. And then that's, cerebrally what's going on. And then how it's acting out is in the physical. My ego wants me to stand in this concert, stand here and not roam, okay? But my soul, your heart and your soul operate on a complete different wavelength. If the ego and the brain want you safe and stationary and in the same place, the soul wants you to soar. Your heart has desires that are beyond the place that you're in right now, because it has the foresight to see what would really fulfill you. And often, the thing that you would find fulfillment in is expansion. They crave growth, they crave new experiences, and the soul will always tell you what you really want. And when you get those negative or those limiting thoughts or beliefs, that's always the ego, because I already knew what I wanted. I saw someone experiencing what I wanted to experience all around me. I saw these kids being lifted and thrown around, and I'm like, that is a once in a lifetime experience. That's something that I've never been to a concert like this. Like, now's the chance. And speaking of now's the chance, Sarah, if you can remember, my friend had already left. She left to go to a different stage, and I was alone. I thought to myself, before I even thought it would be possible for me to crowd surf, I had the thought, this only really works if you're alone, huh? So now the conditions in my 3D have aligned perfectly so I can experience this opportunity without any kind of like, oh, I don't want to separate from my friend, without any kind of limitations like that. So already the stars have aligned for me to be able to do this, and yet the ego is still saying, no, don't you want to don't you want to just stand here, and isn't it enough for you to listen to the songs out here? Like, imagine having a perfect opportunity and you want to do this thing, and then your brain still tells you that you shouldn't, all the reasons why you shouldn't. So this was huge for me. And I thought to myself, what do I want to write in my journal at the end of the day today? Do I want to say, I wanted to do this, but I didn't have the courage to ask or make it happen for me? Or do I want to be able to say that I crowd surfed? And that gave me the courage to finally ask. But the story is not over yet, okay? The first person that I asked, I've been wrestling with these thoughts. Do I do it or do I not? How do you even start? I guess you just ask someone, whatever. So I tap the shoulder of the guy in front of me, right? And I say, excuse me, I would love to crowd surf. Do you think you could lift me up so I could crowd surf? This man, I'm in a swivel chair, okay? So, excuse me, can I crowd surf? Da, 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 da. I say my whole spiel, and then he fully turns to me to show his broken arm. Okay? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, of course, when I finally get the courage to ask, there is someone that is physically incapable of doing the thing that I want. So, important part here is like, I could have given up. I could have said, okay, well, I tried to do this. I tried, and like, he has a broken arm, so what am I gonna do? That is not what someone that makes their own opportunities does. You don't stop at the first no. You don't stop at the first rejection. Remember, you're listening to your heart. You're listening to what your soul desires. And if there's one bump in the road, is that it? No. So you know what I did? I turned to the next guy and I did the same thing, and I'm like, excuse me. And so like, literally as I was about to ask him, the first guy, he was way too nice for his own good. He's like, you can, like, he puts his leg out and he's like, you can stand up on my knee if you want. And I'm like, sir, please don't injure yourself more. So I turned to this new guy, and not even 2 seconds after asking, I go, excuse me, like, I would love to crowd surf. Do you think you could lift me up to do it? I barely finished my sentence and I was already in the air. I was already in the air because when you ask for something and you take that leap of faith, like, when you're fully aligned, that's when things actually happen for you, bro. And the lesson here is like, there is nothing inherently special about the people, like when I was standing, about the people that were crowd surfing around me. They didn't deserve to crowd surf. They weren't good people, they weren't bad people. They didn't like have to prove themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no morality at play here for them to experience the thing that I wanted to experience too. As in, we are all on the same playing fields. That person can crowd surf, so can I. There's nothing inherently different about us. And the only thing that is true about us is that we both wanted to have this experience, so we went out and we did it. And this, like, I feel like reigns true for so much of life. Like, how many times, do we have a desire that we're too afraid to act on because we've mentally stewed on this thought for way too long, and we've come up with all of these excuses when really that nagging feeling in our soul, like, it's not gonna go away. If you really want to experience something, you're going to always want that. If it's truly from a soul level, you're always going to want that. And so something to remind yourself is like, you are able to experience what you want to experience in this life if you have enough courage to make the opportunity yourself. Oh, it's so true for anything in life. And, okay, Sleeping with Siren fans, if you know, you know, the song that I was carried through, it was If I'm James Dean, You're Audrey Hepburn. Can you imagine during the bridge? The way that we are is the reason I stay. Yo, I can't. Like, insane. And that moment, like, all of the things that I was afraid of falling and hurting myself, let me tell you, my experience was not what I was seeing. All the people that I saw were like fully on their back, getting moved like this, okay? Tell me why they were spitting me like the freaking hot dogs at 7-Eleven, okay? I think that has to do with the fact that, like, the initial guy that threw me up there, he threw me up there belly first. So the crowd was like spinning me. It was a whole thing. Arguably the best emo love song of all time. It happened during my favorite song. I will never listen to that song the same way again. Every time I listen to that song, I will think about how I took a chance, how I went after what I wanted, and how I was in the air, spinning above the whole crowd and seeing Kellen Quinn on the big Jumbotron serenading me. That is so worth it. That is so worth doing something even though you're nervous and you've never done it before and you don't know how to initiate it. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want, so long as no one else is getting hurt. And I'm sorry if I hurt someone. I'm sorry if my body impaled you in some way. I really am. But I was set down so gently, and I can only assume that me rolling around on top of the crowd was also fairly gentle. I hope. I hope this is inspiring and resonates. You deserve to have the things you want because you want them. So go do something about it. I love you. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.